What's up, everybody? It's Caitlyn Cowen, your host, and I'm going to be hosting the True Grit Vision newest podcast YouTube channel. And I'm super excited to be bringing all this information to you. This first episode, I just want to go over who I am, get to know me, and why I'm going on this journey of creating this True Grit Vision, the podcast that has really just been speaking to me lately. And the biggest thing about creating a podcast is you just got to go out there and do it. You got to go out there, be courageous, and do something that's going to shake you up a little bit. And this journey that I've been on has been a bumpy, rocky road. And I just want to go ahead and get it started because my story, the reason why I'm here, the reason why I'm creating this podcast for so many reasons. And I want to just deep dive into everything and invite you guys into my world, invite you guys into what I'm going to be doing on this podcast and just bringing you guys just information that's going to help you along the way. But first and foremost, in this episode, I just want you guys to get to know me and what it is I do. So, being able just to share a little bit about myself and my personal and professional background to you. So, first and foremost, I got started in the military right out of high school. So, all my veterans who are out there, if you were like me, you're like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I got to go out there and just do something. Maybe it was your family members who told you to go do something, and you're like, look, Caitlyn, I grew up in not a great place, and the only options I had was go to college or go to the military. And you're like, maybe I wasn't too smart for college, so I'm just going to go to the military. Or you're like, maybe this is the only way out to get me a career. All of those things was me, by the way. I was young when I graduated high school and with the college degree. Back when I got started in high school, they allowed us to do college at the same time. And so grateful for my mom for fighting for me and, her telling people like, this woman is smart, like this kid is smart. And to me, I'm just like, I'm just doing the average thing, trying to stay out of trouble, just trying to find my own path, play sports, be in the different academics and just always just trying to find myself and recreate myself. And I'm so grateful for my mom always pushing me to go do more and always fighting for me to want more in my life. Because when I was in high school, even my counselors were like, no, she's not that smart. Like she would tell my counselor would tell my mom, she's not that smart. But then I would go take the test and I would, it would over exceed what the tests are. And they would put me in a gifted and talented programs. And they were like, yeah, she's talented, she's gifted, but she's not as gifted as these kids, right? She's like right in the middle. I was always like the black sheep. But I ended up taking a lot of college courses while I was in high school and then ended up graduating when I was 16. And I then was like, okay, what do I do next? Like, what's my next step in my life? And I ended up joining the Marine Corps. So for all my Marine vets, my Marines out there, Semper Fi Devil Dogs, the Marine Corps became my life. It was my whole adult life. It's what I knew. That became my professional background. I went in as an open contract. So for all my people were like hating, they're like, yeah, you didn't get a good job or whatever the case may be, whatever your MOS was. I went as an open contract because I was young. I had to have my what do they call it? Senate, the like state government official have to sign my paper to get in through the program at a young age. So I went in very young, and that's why I had an open contract because of my age. They can only allow you to do so much. But I was very grateful for the people who really fought for me and got me in because I, for one, didn't want to go to college. And a lot of my mentors in my life, because growing up where I grew up, and if you guys ever heard of Pueblo, Colorado, that's where I grew up. I won't say it wasn't the best, and I won't say it wasn't the worst, right? It's just where you find yourself and who you're around. Your associations are always key. And I realized very quickly that I didn't want to go to college there. I didn't want to stay in the state of Colorado. I wanted to do something more. I just didn't have the right people in my life at that time to show me what that was. So I ended up joining the Marine Corps right when I graduated and went in as an open contract. Very proud. I think in the Marine Corps, I feel like every day is almost a day of like I never forget boot camp. So if my Marines are out there, you understand that. Even like my military veterans. I just remember even like my drill instructor telling me like, "Recruit, you're like the dumbest person I ever know." And I think to myself, I'm not dumb. I just am never on the same wavelength as people. And I've always felt that way for a very long time. And I was always excelled more than people, but I also knew that I had to humble myself and not always be the one who wins. I also want to lose. And I lost a lot in my life. After the Marine Corps, in the Marine Corps, had really great friends, met really great people, ups and downs. I've deployed multiple times, and I'm so grateful for my mentors in my life and the people who believed in me. My like first ever speeding ticket, I remember my gunnery sergeant. He would like yelled at me, "Cowan, I freaking believed in you, and like you go out, you do this." And I think it's so funny because myself and one of my colleagues at the time, we wanted to go do something nice, and we ended up having to go into work really early. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. We had to go into work, and I was like, "Let's get up early. Let's get everybody something. Like, let's bring in the camaraderie. Like, that's what we got to do." Because I've always known I'm meant to be a leader amongst leaders, and I'm like, I gotta be that person who brings in the camaraderie. And I wasn't even like high ranking at that time. I was just a little nobody. And I remember my gunnery sergeant, he was so pissed. He's like, "A speeding ticket," was like throwing all of his stuff around in his office. And it was so emotional at that time because I've never had a father figure in my life believe in me that much. And it was such an emotional moment where I he made me see that my actions cost a lot. And I was like, this moment on, this guy believes in me. Not only this guy, I had a staff sergeant, newly promoted staff sergeant, like he believed in me. Um, and I just remember I was like, I can't let these people down. I was so emotional, like this is it. I was like the kid, "This is the end of my career, boo-hoo," like, blah, 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 right? And then I think to myself back then, what a big pivotal moment in my life because that moment on, I was gonna go out and be the biggest killer of them all. I wanted to just fight for everything. I wanted to be like the most competitive person where people were like, "I can't mess with her because she's a freaking dog." Like, she goes out there and she's gonna freaking fight for everything. And that's what I did. That's what I did in the Marine Corps. I did that. Deployed, ups and downs in deployment, lost a lot, was in a great relationship. That's a story for another day, but lost a lot. And I do think that your younger adult life, like you start to understand like your meaning in life and like what you're trying to do and like your purpose, right? And I would say I was a believer when I got in. I remember this girl in high school. Her name was Julie Sanchez, and shout out to you, Julie, for bringing me closer to God and showing me the love of God. She's the reason why I got baptized um, before I left in the military, and I'm so grateful for her till this day. I'll never forget about her. Always talk about her because she's the number one person who always had such a powerful love for God, and she never cared what anybody said, and she's the reason why she brought me closer to God and the reason why I got baptized. And I'm so grateful for her. But because of that relationship getting started before high school with God, it really was it's such a rocky road and just being in the Marine Corps in general. I just remember like my first 4 years in the Marine Corps, I've like just obstacles of ups and downs and resentment and grief and depression and then the high note, the happiness, like it was just a overwhelmingness of everything. And you just never know what you're going to lose. You never know what person's going to be there the next day. It was just so much. And that's just like the first 4 years of like my adult life. Like I tell people, and I ended up leaving the Marine Corps after 4 years, but I ended up getting back in because I realized very quickly that I wasn't done with what I started. Didn't tell anybody. I said, I think I just need like a refresher. And if I want to refresh, I need to refresh with new people. And that's exactly what I did. In the midst of all of that, going back into the Marine Corps, it was just a whole new genre for myself. I got into contracting gigs and a lot of my doors just really opened up. I worked all over the US, and I loved every bit of it. I love the fact that I got to see new culture, be invited to new things, and just be a part of a whole new world for myself. And on top of that, I still had the freedom to be home, be with my family, go to school. I was like, I'm gonna try this whole school thing. Wasn't for me, by the way. I still got my degrees. I got my bachelor's, my master's. Like, it does absolutely nothing for you in this world right now. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it because the military also still pays me to do it. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this money. Might as well just use it right now. And just get paid extra, right? And so grateful for my family, for them always telling me, that you don't want to stop your journey. Started a security company. Grateful for that opportunity. But all in all of this adversity and diversity I went through, I ended up also joining the Navy. So it was just like a mist of a lot of things happening, a lot of great people in my life, just always pushing me and telling me you can go do a lot. The company that I started, it flourished, doing very well, and I loved every bit of it. I was just always really good at certain things, but I never had passion for it. The security company sold it off, and I wish everybody the best there, and that's all I can wish them. And even though, like if you ever, all my entrepreneurs, business owners out there, if you ever started a company and it takes a lot of money, takes a lot of effort, and it's the reason why I stayed in the military. They paid for a lot of things, but also it's people, networking, just what God conspired us to be is being a relationship. And I didn't really know it back then. Fast forward, a decade from then, it's like I start to see the reason why God has so many things set for us in our lives. But my professional background right now, reaching out to God, refocusing on God was a big thing for me. During COVID time was a big eye opener for myself, and I believe a lot of you. COVID was a huge thing, and I think everybody truly, if you look at COVID, you can look at the negative or the positive during COVID, and you can see what you wanted out of your life, and whether it be negative or positive, that's totally on you. I just knew during that time, I was coming back from Israel and was, God's land, and just kind of seeing what the bad and the good of it, everything in between, what people are doing to God's land. And like I said, bad and good. Like there's no right answer to that, but it really had me thinking for a long time, what do I really want in this life? And I knew I needed more. I knew I needed a platform. I knew I needed people, certain mentors. I needed something that was missing. And it was like an epiphany. And I said to myself, I need this change. Didn't know what it was. I just know one day I'm yelling to God and telling him all the things that we tend to try to not tell people, right? And asking him just for something new, like, because I just didn't understand. And I get a call from an individual inviting me to this platform thing over Zoom, and I was like, heck, I need change in my life. I need something. I don't even care what it is. I don't know what it is. Let's just do it. And totally changed my life, my trajectory in life. And I'm so grateful for the platform I'm in right now. My professional background in financial services. By the way, I didn't grow up like knowing everything about finances, and I'm not going to say I'm like an expert at it. However, I'm learning every day how to do better for not only myself but for people. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that was provided to me, and the mentors and the associations that are all around me. All the people play such a big factor in my life, whether they see it or they don't. Everybody does. And my professional background right now is truly educating people in the financial services and teaching people how to save and grow their money. But at the end of the day, it's truly just teaching people the free enterprise system that we have here in America, and teaching people how to just bring hope back to themselves. Because in this life, I've seen, not just in America, but all over, there's so much bad instead of good. And then people just stopped hoping for a long time. And the biggest thing that people don't have in their lives is hope. And God gives us hope so that we aren't hopeless. And I said, to myself, if I really want to be a part of God's kingdom and do the things that God has set me out to do, I have to do this. And my professional background right now is pursuing this journey that God has set me on. And by all means, I am not perfect in any way. And I have messed up many times. I have done all the things that people just don't want to do, and you do the things and you're like, why am I doing them? You wake up with a bad headache. You say the things you don't want to say. So many things, and I've gone through all of that. And this is the reason why I'm talking about the True Grit Vision here on the podcast, because even so recently, starting here, the spiritual warfare is just so clear on what we're really fighting for. And if you feel it, like the changes are happening right now. They're happening right now. And I'm fighting myself, I'm fighting people because I'm still learning. I'm still in this hunt. I'm still on this journey of just finding myself, what God's purpose is meant to be here. And like, you don't have to be, if you got it all figured out, good for you, like awesome. But I don't. And this is why I've created this podcast, is we're going to figure this thing out together. We're going to learn together. We're going to find new tools, new things together. Because I believe that growth is the biggest thing, because none of us are perfect. Only Jesus Christ, who came on this planet, was perfect. Who came onto this earth was perfect. When God created him to be here in his image, he was created to be perfect in all image of him. We are not perfect. We are human beings. We are so imperfect. Um, and this kind of just lets me know and lets people know. I want people to know, if I've ever done you wrong, if I've ever hurt you, if I've ever told you you hurt me, it's because I'm only hurting inside, and hurt people hurt people. And just know, like, in all honesty, like, I forgive every single one of you. And I hope that every single one of you can forgive those people who have done that to you. And the things that you've said to people, I've been there and I've done it. And I've done it recently. And it's a hard thing to choke on, because you lose the people who are so close to you and mean so much. And I tell myself, like, if you understand what I'm saying and I'm going through right now, if you're like, Caitlin, I get it. It's a fighting battle. It's like you want to have these people closest to you, but you push them away. And I get it. If you're in that boat, awesome. If you're not, you're like, Caitlin, like totally not me. You're just like, a little out there, right? I get it. We're all on a different journey. We're all in a different walk of life. We all have different paths. We all have different things we went through. And my personal journey, I want to share with you. And I want people to be here on this podcast, because we are going to have guests and to talk about their personal journey, because we're not perfect. And we've done so much wrong in our life that, we're all trying to figure it out, and we're all healing, and we're all trying to forgive. And we're all just learning in this life. And just know, for the people that I've ever hurt, the people that I've ever pushed away, I love you all so dearly. It's insane. I love you all so much. I am so grateful for the things that you've shown me and the things that you've given me. And forgiveness is the biggest thing. Even though it's been a long journey, it's been hard. I forgive every single one of those individuals. And I hope that one day we can all get together again and have a conversation. And I hope that one day, if you're hearing this, that you get to do that for other people as well. Or you get to be that person for other people. Um, but I think mental health is a big thing too. And I'll definitely be making an episode on this, because it's a personal journey I'm going through right now, and it's an emotional journey. And I'm going to have guests here, and we're going to talk about that, because it's not just females, it's males too. My male Marines who are out there, man, I mean, my male military members, like, I've heard so many things, and I've endured it with you. And like, this isn't just a female thing. This is for males too. Everybody goes through it. And this is just a journey for everybody. And I'm excited to go through this journey with everybody, because it's not just the journey. It's not just mental health. It's not just the journey of stories. It's everything in life, and everything that we're going through in life. And those are the things that are going to be talked here on the podcast. And this is why I'm so inspired to start this podcast, is because I want to educate people not only in the financial industry and what's going on, but I want people to see other people's stories. I want people's stories to be heard. I want to talk about the things that people really don't want to talk about. This podcast is made to have the true grit in your life that you've gone through. And a lot of us have. 99% of us have probably gone through the grit in our lives that created this story and this phenomenon of who we are, but we're not done yet. We have a purpose. We have more to do and more to grow and more to forgive and just more for ourselves to do. And trust me, I'm still in the walk of just this journey that God has created me to be in. And I'm still a child at sometimes, and I don't want to be, but we're all learning and we're all on this journey together. So don't feel left out if you're set back or if you're like far ahead. Awesome. Good for you. Like you're the person I want to have here as a guest, but we all have just our different journeys in our life. And that's why the grit in our life we go through is a visionary here because you have a story and the story wants to be told. And I want to be able to tell your story, not only just mine, but the people everywhere. There's so many stories to be told. And the inspiration behind actually starting the True Grit Vision podcast really stems from a deep belief in the transformation of power of resilience and the visionary thinking. So right now in a world just filled with challenges and setbacks and uncertainties, we recognize the need for a platform that not only acknowledges the struggles but also celebrates the strength found within adversity. A lot of us go through so much and nobody tells your story about the things you've gone through, and everybody has a story. You need to be able to tell it. But the idea is to truly bring together this community of individuals who share a common commitment of just facing challenges head on, fueled by the true grit in your life and forward looking vision that you have. Through this podcast, I want to aim at just exploring stories of triumphant, mainly the stories over triumph over adversity, and sharing this practical insight through life and things you've gone through and engage in conversations that inspire personal and professional growth. My motivation truly lies in the belief that everyone here possesses the potential for greatness. And by fostering a mindset of true grit, it's coupled with visionary thinking and individuals that can navigate obstacles, achieve their goals, and create this lasting impact in their lives and the lives of others because it's going to live on from generation to generation. The True Grit Vision is not just a podcast, gang. It's a journey towards empowerment, resilience, and the realization of one's full potential. Like you have full potential. I think nowadays, more in this society, I see people who do go through the struggle, but they don't see their true full potential in their life. And that's why we're here. So it brings me to understanding what, the podcast and the theme and the purpose of everything here. My goals for this podcast is just being able to look at the True Grit Vision. Well, my theme and my goal is to look at the True Grit Vision podcast as it revolves around just different synergy of resilience and visionary thinking of people and their stories. And my goal is to really develop into the narratives of individuals who have faced adversity with just being able to demonstrate that unwavering determination, that true grit that people have, and couple that with forward thinking and their visionary mindset. So some things I always want to be looking at here is the resilience and the in action. So true grit, the vision of it, the goal of it is the resilience in action. It's exploring stories of overcoming challenges and your setbacks and your obstacles in your life. The highlights of strategies and the mindset you have to contribute to that resilience. Some other things that I want to look at is the visionary thinking. That's to discuss the importance of having a clear vision for personal and professional growth, and showing you guys that and being able to educate you guys on that and showcase examples of individuals who embrace the visionary mindset to achieve success, especially for a lot of you out there who are tired of the 9 to 5 or in a 9 to 5, you're doing very well and you're like, I need more in my life. And the best way to go through that is to learn people's stories and what they've gone through, because you can only get better if you hear what people have gone through. That's going to help you condense the time to do the things you want to do, learning from somebody and being able to achieve higher successes in your life right now. And if you're like, Caitlyn, I'm a CEO, I'm running my own company. Are you? That's my biggest thing I ask people. Are you truly, or are you just an employee who has a CEO title that's just running a company? You're not really achieving success in your life. And if you're somebody who's achieving success in your life, what more can you do? Because there's so much more you can do. God's given you life in abundance. So achieve greater success. Also having like practical strengths, strategies to look at this. I want to be able to provide actionable tips and strategies for developing resilience and visionary thinking for you, and encouraging that engagement and discussions and sharing experiences amongst you guys. The diversity here is meant to showcase all different people of all different backgrounds and have a variety of guests, being able to showcase everything that they've done so you can see the walks of life. So if you're going through that right now, or you're looking at different things to go through in life, you have somebody to relate to. You have somebody to be able to say, like, I can have a conversation with that person. I can connect with them on social media. That's what I want to bring here to this platform, because everybody's going to go through adversity in their life. Everybody's going to have some grit in their life. And if you don't have that, it's because you haven't truly fulfilled the purpose that you want to fulfill in your life. You haven't, or you don't care to find it. Okay. A couple other things I want to look at is just being able to emphasize the true grit and visionary thinking on different concepts of people's lives. Not one person here is built the same. Not one person here is going to be the same. And my goal is to show you all of the different walks of life. Ultimately, the True Grit vision is going to be, the podcast is aims to really inspire, educate, and empower the listeners to embrace challenges, to cultivate resilience, and to chart a course towards their envisioned success. And this is going to be through engaging conversations, expert insights, real life stories. We're going to strive on truly creating this platform that fosters a professional and collective growth. But also, because my biggest platform, my biggest background is financial services. I also want to educate you through the entrepreneurship that I've went through and going through. I also want to educate you in the financial services that's going through right now and what the economy is going through, because financially, that's a big factor in people's lives and why they go through so much grit. And I want to be able to have a platform where you guys can be educated on that too. So the True Grit vision itself is truly to be a podcast that will just cover a spectrum of topics. And these topics I want to cover is personal stories, leadership, professional development, which a lot of us need now more in days than ever in America. A lot of us need to be leaders. A lot of us need to understand what it is to be a leader, how to be able to get there, having a mindset and mental resilience, because we all have really bad coping mechanisms. And I'm true to that. I'm an advocate to that, because I've had really bad coping mechanisms because of the military, because of the background, because of my childhood. Mental health being a big thing. I want to be able to create better strategies, maintain that resilient mindset for people. And I'm going through that now, starting this podcast. It's the mental warfare that I have because of all the past things that I've just totally put down for decades of my life, and being able to bring people to you guys to help with that as well, because that's also something I strive to learn too. But I also want to feature entrepreneurs who have just navigated obstacles to build success, to be able to have this visionary approach. My being able to get into the company that I am right now allows me to have access to a lot of people who have just really opened up my mind. And I don't want to say I'm scared, but to the end, to some depth, I'm like, how do I get to where those people are? How do I create that platform? And I love the fact that our CEO, Patrick David, he's created a platform that has truly, uh, it's truly extraordinary for people who think they're this big, but could go be somebody in this life, can really go be somebody in this life. Man, that's a good one. That's all I have to say. That is a good one. But also just the challenges that are happening right now all over the not just the US, but the global challenges that are happening. People need to understand what's happening in the economy right now. and the solutions, even if there's positive solutions for people that are going through it. But if you don't know what's happening in the economy right now, I'm not saying you have to get into politics. I'm not saying that we're going to get into politics, but I'm saying, like, have you educated yourself? We're going to go into those things. But we're also have expert insights and practical advice that are going to come from people and what they've gone through. Because everybody goes through different walks of life and have different, they have different tips. They have different things they go through that they'd recommend, books you need to read, articles you need to go look up, resources for you. We want to bring that to you. And then having just having a listener interaction and Q&A, because engaging with you as the audience and engaging just with you as listeners, we want to hear your stories for one, but we want to hear, as we're talking about people's stories, what you've gone through, sharing your experiences, and truly living in that true grit vision for yourself right now, because there's always somebody's always going through something and needing advice. But we also want to explore the principles that have just underpinned resilience and the visionary thinking, and making it a viable resource for personal and professional growth for you. Our biggest thing out of this is, if you've gotten anything so far, is your story needs to be told. Can I tell it? And can we give advice for people that are going through what you're going through to help them become better people? Because I wish I would have had a platform living through my 20s, going into my 30s, that somebody would have given me a platform to talk about the things that I'm most uncomfortable with. Talk about my story. It is not a perfect story. Talk about the things that hurt me the most. If I had people who were surrounded by me, I wouldn't feel like I'm so held back in my life. Like, I can't express my feelings, can't express the things that I can express, but didn't have a platform to talk about it. If I'm able to bring those people here and talk about it, why not talk about it? Why not be able to do that? Because your growth is everything in your life. Some other things I'm definitely going to be hitting on in the True Grit Vision podcast is your financial resilience and planning. Look, you guys really can't get to the next level of your life if you're not truly financially resilient, and you're planning when you hit setbacks, how to plan those ahead of time. And I want to explore people's, individuals, how they build financial resilience and plan the future, and have amid uncertainties when they go through amid uncertainties, and discussing those different roles of true grit and overcoming financial setbacks, over setbacks, right? Setback after setback, because that's something I've lived through, living through, and getting through. And those are things that I want to look forward into your financial planning, and educate you more on what's out there in this economy. What I love so much is, the platform that I'm in. Just read a book from our CDO of the company, Matt Sapala. He just wrote this book called, Gotcha. And I'm sitting here reading this book, and I'm like, man, how did I not know this? And I'm in a company who's teaching this, and I'm like, why aren't I retaining it? It's because, there when you use your words out loud and you do it over and over again, you'll retain it more. For some of us who don't do it, don't do the work, and we're just a little lazy, we're not going to get there. So I want to teach you what I know, what's been taught into me, so that I retain it better for you. But you also come, and you're the one that's like, Caitlin, I have a question. I have this. Hey, you may be the person who, like, doesn't like being here, and you're like, Caitlin, you're wrong. All good. My thing that I can do is grow. But for you, can you grow too? Because it doesn't stop here. And if I can financially educate you in some things and what's going on in personal finance, improving your financial knowledge, and the things that are provided to me for this platform, go learn something new then, right? Go learn something new. You can only be mad at yourself if you don't decide to. But also, economical trends and global finance right now isn't at its best. So being able to be on top of what's happening right now, what's happening, steadily over these course since the pandemic, what's going on, and being able to educate you, going straight into that. Because if you don't know right now, if you can't get your finances straight, if you're not the person who is not only not getting your finances straight, but also you're not getting your family's finances straight. So you have kids, and you're looking for generational wealth, or you're looking to create something for your kids, and you're like, Caitlin, I'm barely living paycheck to paycheck. Like, we need to have a conversation. We need to sit down. But also, can I educate you on how to be able to foster those resilience and to be able to overcome that with different things that are out there? This is why entrepreneurship is such a big thing. You can go work a 9 to 5 and still be an entrepreneur part-time. That's how I got started. But you need to know the economical trends and global finances are happening right now, because it is going to affect you whether you like it or not. And if you're not educated, because they don't teach us in high school, they don't teach us in college, even if you got a business degree or a finance degree, I got that too. So, like, I don't care what you got to say. At the end of the day, there's so much more out there outside of your degrees. There's so much more out there that you need to learn. And it doesn't stop when you graduate. It doesn't stop when you're in actually taking those classes because you probably didn't learn a whole lot. So that's where I want to come in and have those conversations. And they're going to be uncomfortable for a lot of you guys. Comfortability is great because you need to be shooken up a little bit. But my biggest thing is bringing people to this platform and telling their story, going over how to be able to overcome a lot of things, and being able to bring people to this platform who want to speak and have a voice that needs to be heard. But the significance on why the True Grit vision has been very empowering for me, and the logo up top, it was a significant of a lot of things that were put together. But the True Grit vision is mainly encapsulated by the essence of this podcast, by combining two powerful concepts that embody the spirit of overcoming challenges and fostering forward thinking and perspectives. True grit is truly a resilience and tenacity, which meaning the true grit, the term of true grit truly reflects the resilience, determination, the ability to preserve in the face of adversity. It implies a mindset that embraces challenges and setbacks as opportunity for your growth. True grit truly just stands for that courage and that strength. The true grit signifies the courage to confront difficulties head on. It demonstrates the true strength and character of people and the unwavering commitment of one's goals. That's the true grit meaning. And it's a reason why it's brought here. And your vision itself, vision is so clear. If you're forward thinking and clarity, you need to have that. And I want to be able to bring those things to you. Vision represents a forward looking mindset that emphasizes the importance of clarity and goals and aspirations in your life. It inspires the ability to see way beyond the immediate challenges that are happening right now and envision a future filled with possibilities. Because a lot of us, it's very hard for us to dream. And I've seen more nowadays that a lot of us just don't know how to dream. We forget how to be childlike again. But also the strategic perspective, like having a vision that implies a strategic approach to life, to business, and professional development. It involves setting goals, planning, executing the actions with a clear sense of purpose. If we're going into 2024 and you don't have goals for the next year, you haven't planned anything for the next year, you're not really into executing any actions, having a clear sense of purpose in your life, you've totally forgot the purpose of why you're here. You're not here to work a 9 to 5 job for the rest of your life. And you might. And I'm not here to tell you what you can or can't do. God gave you free will to decide what you want. But our vision is to have that forward thinking and clarity in your life. If you forget to plan goals, if you're not planning anything, if you're not executing any action because you don't really have a clear sense of purpose in this life, then you're going to be so unhappy. You can have all of this and be unhappy in the moment because sometimes there's challenges in our lives that make us that way. But that's where the clear forward thinking comes through, the clarity. You got to have goals in this life. Also, the combined significance in true grit is that holistic empowerment. The vision of true grit and together is the true grit and the vision combined is to create a holistic concept of empowerment. It encourages individuals not only to endure challenges, but to do so much with a purposeful, forward thinking mindset. That can help you create a mindset so that you could be more forward thinking and do the things you want to do so you can achieve your goals and not be okay with just living the 9 to 5 and the paycheck to paycheck and the mindset, if you think of it, the poverty mindset of this is all I'm ever going to have. If I could take that away from you and give you things to help yourself grow from that, that's what I want this podcast to bring for you too. And just the life philosophy of True Grit Vision. This life philosophy of the True Grit Vision is not just a podcast name. It truly represents a philosophy that encourages resilience in the face of adversity and the ability to approach life's journey with a visionary outlook. You need to have this in your life. And the essence of the podcast name just embodies the idea that by cultivating true grit and the visionary thinking, individuals can actually go out and navigate their challenges. They can actually go pursue their goals and create a meaningful and impactful life for themselves. The true grit vision is an imagination. Well, True Grit Vision is truly an invention to explore stories of people because you can relate to them, gain insights because you can understand it, and then just embarking on this new journey of personal and collective growth because you need to go through it. You need that. You need to go through certain things in your life. They're going to get you to the next stages in your life. It doesn't matter where you work, it doesn't matter where you're at right now in your life. You need to grow because you're not going to ever be challenged and the devil's going to get to you. And your life is going to be of misery and worry and inconsistencies, and you're never going to get the things that you want. So, how do you get those things? That's why you're here. That's why we have the True Grit Vision podcast for that. And some symbolistic things that I had here on the True Grit Vision, the logo that you'll see here is there's many things. I have Psalms 14. I have Psalms 144:1 on there, and Psalms 144:1 um in the Bible, it says, praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. And this verse metaphorically relates to the preparation and determination that's required for life's challenges because life is going to be a challenge. So that's why that that's why Psalms 144:1 is so important as you go through a lot of challenges in your life, and let the Lord be your rock in those things. But also, the color blue in things is really associated by the variety of emotions and qualities and symbols. Um, as the color blue also represents the calmness and serenity. Blue is really often associated with the feelings of calmness and serenity and tranquility, and it can be evoked to a sense of peace and relaxation. Also gives more of a trust and dependability for people. This is why it's commonly used in corporate branding and uniforms and whole professional stuff, right? Blue is also very big in communication and clarity, for wisdom, for intelligence, for dependability, for loyalty, for healing, and for health, and also for spirituality and sometimes and coolness, and not by like, yeah, it's cool, but coolness and being able to have refreshingness and for water and nature. So there's many different things that blue really represents, and that's why that color is so significant. But do you see the weight on there? The weight is that determination, that resilience, that preservation, and true grit. It's the burden of challenges. The weight is when you ever go to the gym um, and you're lifting the weight, you're going to go through a challenge because you want to lift heavier or you haven't lifted before. And the true grit often involves facing and overcoming significant challenges in your life. That weight symbolizes the difficulties and obstacles that individuals must carry and navigate in the pursuit of their goals. So it's truly significant determination to shoulder these burdens and keep moving forward despite the heaviness. Hence the weight, right? Despite the heaviness. Endurance and strength. The just as weightlifters builds physical strength by lifting heavy weight, individuals with true grit build emotion and mental strength by facing life's challenges. The weight truly symbolizes the capacity and the inner and the inner strength that is required to persevere through difficult circumstances. Also, seriousness and commitment. Like you got to be serious and committed to your goals and values. That weight truly represents the seriousness and dedication with each individual approach for their endeavors. It truly it signifies a willingness to take the responsibility and seriousness of their chosen path. Because just like you go to the gym, you're not going to create a temple of your body right away. It's not going to happen overnight. It happens in time, just how you got to where you are right now. To get the growth, to get to where you want to go, you have to be serious and committed. You have to be. You got to make sacrifices. Achieving significant goals often represents sacrifices that and also comes with consequences. The weight symbolizes that awareness of these consequences and the willingness to accept them in pursuit of great purpose and objectives. It's also balance and adaptability. True grit involves the finding and balance between carrying the weight of the challenges and adapting to changes in your life, and also the importance of values. If we don't have values in our life, we don't have morals in our life, then you're not really upholding a lot in your life. So it's important to have it. The stars themselves, the stars, it's mainly for hope and aspiration, spiritual connectedness, consistency, the achievements and recognitions, perseverance through darkness. The stars are significant in so many things when it comes to the true grit meaning, the navigation that we have, the hope that we need in our lives, because stars shine bright in a nighty sky. They symbolize the pursuit of dreams and the belief that there is light even in the most difficult circumstances, especially at night. When the stars are there, it represents that darkness is pierced by points of light. And through the challenging times, you can find strength and resilience, even in so much adversity in the dark, right? So stars are so significant in this, especially when it comes to limitless potential for your growth, for your learning, for your achievements, because stars have infinite possibilities, infinite. The mountain, just because I grew up in Colorado, is not because the reason why I have the mountain, but the mountain truly carries a rich symbolism in the concept of true grit with the challenge and obstacles. Because if you ever did a 14er, which is 14,000 in elevation in Colorado or wherever my crazy people are at, you have to go through different challenges to get to the top. And that's exactly what you're going to go through in your life. You're going to go through difficulties, and you have to be able to overcome those and achieve those goals as well. The perseverance and determination, it's like getting to the top of that mountain, right? That mountain truly resembles that perseverance, determination. You have to overcome challenges. Elevation, not like the elevation on the mountain, but you to reach the summit of the mountain, so the top of the mountain, it is so significant an achievement. The mountain has to symbolize the pursuit of the higher goals, your personal growth, and the elevation of one's abilities. And you have majestic strength. Majestic strength in this is just your power, your most powerful natural features, and that's you getting and going through facing adversity. Your spiritual and your spiritual journey is also with the mountains, the enlightenment, the spiritual journey and the enlightenment that comes with it, because you have the pursuit of higher values, personal growth, and it kind of like a trend that you hear right now. Also, isolations and solitude. If you ever done climbed a mountain by yourself, or even a hill at that, like you're going through isolation and solitude in your mind through the challenges you're going to face. You're going to go through that. Now, I'm not saying go isolate yourself, but the mountain describes the adversity you're going to go through, the self reflection stage that you're going to have. Beautiful scenery, the admin challenges you're going to be faced when you go through just different scenery in your life. Not just like the beautiful scenery, because we always want beauty, but finding beauty in the most adverse times in your life. That's what mountains can bring to you. Your endurance, your stamina, the journey you're going to inquire. All of that is that's why the mountain's so important, because you're going to go through that in the true grit, your true grit life, that true grit vision that you're going to have, the things that you're going to go through. That's why the symbol on this is so important when it comes to the true grit vision and what we're going to have. But I want to go ahead and wrap some things up here, and just know, being able to bring you back, because this is just the opening to the True Grit Vision podcast, the opening to my story, to many more people's story, the educational journey you're going to have, the challenge, the setback, all the things you're going to have to be able to get through them. I want to bring all of that here to you, and I want you to bring the person to the left and right of you. Just collaborate with them and tell them to engage here, because my biggest thing is to help give some insight, some clarity, the things that you're facing in your life, how to get through them with other people's stories. And hey, if you're somebody who's like, Caitlyn, I have a story, I want to sit down, have a conversation, connect with me. I love to be able to get you here on this platform, and let's get connected here. But the biggest thing is I want your feedback. Your input is the most valuable thing to shaping the True Grit Vision podcast. It truly, if something resonates with you, I'm eager to hear your thoughts, your suggestions, your ideas on what you want, your gritty stories, your feedback truly matters. But I want to be able to connect with you guys on social media. Don't let it stop here. But I'm so grateful to have the people that are listening today, being here live, but also just learning new things about new people, myself in general. But I'm so grateful for the people who are listening and supporting, and the people that are sharing this, and want more people to be here, because my incredible True Grit vision to my listeners is I want you all to take a moment just to express the deepest gratitude to your loved ones, to the people who you just want to connect back with, and the people who you may have burned a bridge, but you knew deep down that you just had so much more to build with them. You just you were just trying to commit to something else, maybe yourself, or just going through something in your life, and you wanted to say more, but you really struggle with that emotionally. Um, but express your deepest gratitude to them. Your commitment to your journey is the most resilient of them all. It's that visionary thinking that you have. The financial empowerment is always going to be the foundation, because you need to have that to keep moving forward, because a lot of us are just stuck on finances. But I want to thank you all for being a part of this community. Your presence really enriches the podcast, creating a supportive space for growth and inspiration. And I just want to engage with every single one of you. And if anything, I want you guys to engage and share this. Share this episode, engage in the discussion, or just provide feedback. And your active participation really elevates the podcast experience for everybody. And I want to be able to give that to other people, give that back to people in your life, be able to spread the word in that. And I want to hear your stories. To those who have shared their personal stories of their true grit and their vision, thank you for inspiring others with your courage and resilience. I'd love to bring you here and have that conversation. But spreading the grit and the vision, your efforts to share the true grit vision, it really will contribute to building a community that really values and the empowerment and the growth of people. And my feedback and suggestions is just overall, thank you all for being just thank you for your valuable feedback. If you have topic suggestions, I would love to go over those. But your input really shapes the direction of the podcast. Your support fuels our passion my passion truly to create content that resonates with you. As we continue this journey together, just know that your presence is in the heartbeat of the True Grit vision, and here's to the collective pursuit of resilience, vision thinking, and the future filled with empowerment with all of you. And some things to just kind of recap into this episode of the True Grit Vision is you getting to know me a little bit, knowing why we started this podcast in the first place, just understanding the theme and the purpose of why we're here, future episodes to come, topics to come into. We're going to go live every Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or we're going to have a session go live at that time every Thursday. This one will go live a lot sooner. So if you're watching this, I invite you in, but I just want future episodes and topics to be of people that you've seen, be able to bring them here to this platform, even yourself, your own story. But we'll release on a schedule. We are going to be committed to our time for you guys to have those impactful moments. But if you guys are my listeners today, I encourage all my listeners to subscribe, to share, to engage actively with the podcast, YouTube, all the different platforms, in shaping this podcast, this new journey with me, and truly just skyrocket it. And I want to express sincerely all my gratitude to all my listeners for your support, your engagement, and your contribution to the True Grit Vision community. And as we continue this journey together, we can look forward to exploring these new empowering topics and creating content that really resonates with the resilience and the visionary spirit within each and every single one of you. So stay tuned for more episodes and being a vital part of our community here. I can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. What your guys' background is, being able to communicate with me, and please go out. Let's get connected. You can find a way to connect with me on all my social media platforms, which can be found anywhere on the podcast platform. But I would love to hear more of you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. Have a blessed day.